Dear visitors, welcome to Bosnia and Herzegovina. I am SM Kamrazaman Ujjal and Karima Sheikh. We will take you around the capital city of Sarajevo, Mostar, adjacent Banja Luka and some of the smaller towns. On this journey we will visit the country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, a predominantly Muslim country in Europe. Today, the 12th of August, we left Croatia Split for Bosnia. I am now in Croatia Kamensko border area. I will submit the passport and necessary documents to the customs office here. They will check everything and allow us to go if everything is fine. Alhamdulillah, we got permission. After that, we went a little further to the customs office of Bosnia and Herzegovina and by God's mercy, we left for Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia and Herzegovina. My daughter Karima is very happy and excited. Bosnia and Herzegovina, sometimes known as Bosnia-Herzegovina and informally as Bosnia, a country in southeastern Europe, in the Balkan region, bordering Serbia to the east, Montenegro to the southeast, and Croatia to the north and southwest. To the south it has a 20-kilometer, 12 mi, long coastline on the Adriatic Sea, with the town of Neum being the only access to the sea. Bosnia has a moderate continental climate with hot summers and cold, snowy winters. In the central and eastern regions, the topography is hilly. In the northwest it is moderately hilly and in the northeast it is mainly flat. Herzegovina, the small, southern region, has a Mediterranean climate and is mostly mountainous. Sarajevo is the capital and largest city. The region has been inhabited since at least the Upper Paleolithic, but evidence suggests that during the Neolithic period, permanent human settlements were established, including the Bukmi, Kakanj, and Vuchedol cultures. After the arrival of the first Indo-Europeans, the area was populated by several Illyrian and Celtic civilizations. The ancestors of the South Slavic peoples settled in the region today and arrived between the 6th and 9th centuries. In the 12th century, Bosnia was founded in Banat. By the 14th century, it had developed into the Kingdom of Bosnia. In the mid-15th century, it was annexed to the Ottoman Empire, under whose rule it remained until the end of the 19th century. The Ottomans brought Islam to the region. From the late 19th century until World War I, the country was associated with the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. During the interwar period, Bosnia and Herzegovina was part of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. After World War II, it was granted full republican status in the newly formed Socialist Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. In 1992, after the breakup of Yugoslavia, the republic declared independence. This was followed by the Bosnian War, which lasted until late 1995 and ended with the signing of the Dayton Accords. The country is home to three main ethnic groups. Bosniaks are the largest group, Serbs are the second largest, and Croats are the third largest. Minorities include Jews, Roma, Albanians, Montenegrins, Ukrainians and Turks. Bosnia and Herzegovina has a bicameral legislature and a three-member presidency composed of one member from each of the three main ethnic groups. And now my wife and my daughter Karima Sheikh is going to capital city in Sarajevo. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a major Muslim country in Europe. Sarajevo is the capital and largest city of Bosnia and Herzegovina, with a population of 555,210 in the Sarajevo metropolitan area, including the Sarajevo canton, East Sarajevo and nearby municipalities. It is a region in the Balkans, southern Europe. Sarajevo has an extensive tourism industry and a rapidly expanding service sector accounting for strong annual growth in tourist arrivals. Sarajevo benefits from being both a summer and winter destination, with year-round tourism continuity. The travel guide series, Lonely Planet named Sarajevo the 43rd best city in the world, and in December 2009, Sarajevo was one of the top 10 cities to visit in 2010. Sarajevo's 600-year history, influenced by both Western and Eastern empires, makes it a tourist attraction with great diversity. The city has hosted travelers for centuries, as it was an important trading center during the Ottoman and Austro-Hungarian empires, and because it was a natural stop on many routes between east and west. Examples of popular destinations in Sarajevo include Vrelo Bosan Park, Sarajevo Cathedral, and Gazi Husarev Beg Mosque. Tourism in Sarajevo mainly focuses on historical, religious, cultural sites and winter sports. The source of the Bosna River is located in Ilidža, the main suburb of Sarajevo. Sebilj is an Ottoman-style wooden fountain. Sebil, built by Mehmed Pasha Kukavica in 1753 in the center of Sarajevo's Baščaršija Square. It was moved in 1891 by the Austrian architect Alexander Wittek. According to local legend, those who drink water from this fountain will one day return to Sarajevo. Alija Mosque, also known as Bosnian, Colorful Mosque, is an Ottoman-era mosque built in 1549 and located in Foča, Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is considered one of the most beautiful and important examples of Ottoman architecture in Europe, and is the largest Ottoman-era mosque in all of Bosnia and Herzegovina. One of the most important mosques, along with the Gazi Husarev Beg Mosque in Sarajevo and the Fahadija Mosque in Banja Luka. It was completely destroyed by the VRS in 1992 with pre-planted explosives at the start of the Bosnian War and leveled to the ground. The remains of the mosque are hidden throughout the crater with stones and rubble has been kept to prevent its reconstruction. Once Foča's Bosniak refugees began returning after years of searching for the stone and raising the funds needed to rebuild the mosque, its reconstruction began. There are many parks throughout the city and in the suburbs. A popular activity among locals is street chess. Veliki Park is the largest green area in the center of Sarajevo. It is located between Titova, Kosevo, Zidzikovac, Tina Ujevica and Trampina streets, and at the bottom there is a monument dedicated to the children of Sarajevo. Hastahana is a popular place to relax in the Austro-Hungarian neighborhood of Merizin Dvor. Goats Bridge, locally known as Kođaja Kupriza, is a Latin bridge. In 1913 the bridge gets its name because it connects the right bank of the Milzica with the Catholic quarter of the city, which was informally called Latinluk, place domain of the Latins, loosely Latin Quarter. According to its foundations, it is the oldest of the preserved bridges in the city. Sarajevo is the political, financial, social and cultural center of Bosnia and Herzegovina and a prominent center of culture in the Balkan region. It has regional influence in entertainment, media, fashion and the arts. Due to its long history of religious and cultural diversity, Sarajevo is sometimes called the Jerusalem of Europe or the Jerusalem of the Balkans. It is one of the few major European cities to have a mosque, Catholic Church, Eastern Orthodox Church and synagogue within the same vicinity. Although there is evidence of human habitation in the area since prehistoric times, the modern city originated as an Ottoman fortress in the 15th century as the latter empire expanded into Europe. Sarajevo has achieved international fame many times throughout its history. In 1885, it was the first city in Europe and the second city in the world to have a full-time electrification system. Taslihan or Taslihan is a former caravanserai located on the site of the current summer garden and an open bar of the Hotel Europa in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is the third stone caravanserai in Sarajevo, built between 1540 and 1543 as a donation by Gazi Husarev Beg after his death. It was square in shape and had a length of 47 meters. It had a fountain in its courtyard, with a small mosque on its pillars. Upstairs was the passenger room. Local and foreign traders had shops in Taslihan. The fire of 1879 severely damaged Taslihan. Archaeological site. The ruins of Taslihan in Sarajevo were declared a national monument of Bosnia and Herzegovina in 2007 by the Commission for the Preservation of National Monuments of Bosnia and Herzegovina. In 1530, Gazi Husarev Beg built with his own money the Gazi Husarev Beg Mosque, the most monumental building of Islamic culture in Bosnia and Herzegovina and the largest sacred object of Islamic architecture in this part of the world, which sits on its right bank. Milzica River, the Bey Mosque, Mekteb, Odu Tavern, two octagonal mausoleums and the clock tower building are the central and largest complex of Cheriza, and have a significant impact on all construction activities in the city. Emperor's Mosque, an important landmark in Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The first mosque was built in 1457 after the Ottoman conquest of Bosnia. It is the largest single dome mosque in Bosnia and Herzegovina, built in the classical Ottoman style of the era. Emperor's Mosque, A view of the Emperor's Mosque from the Emperor's Bridge. It was built by an Isakovic Hranuzik who dedicated it to Mehmed the Conqueror, the victorious Sultan of Constantinople. Considered one of the most beautiful Ottoman-era mosques in the Balkans, the mosque has a spacious interior and high-quality decorative details, such as the mihrab. The original mosque was built in the mid-15th century, damaged and completely destroyed by the end of that century. It was rebuilt in 1565 and this time dedicated to Suleiman the Magnificent. The first mosque was made of wood and was significantly smaller than the existing building built in 1565. Side rooms were added in 1800 and connected to the central prayer area in 1848. Between 1980 and 1983, the painted decoration inside the mosque was preserved and restored. The cemetery next to the Emperor's Mosque contains the graves of viziers, mullahs, muftis, sheikhs, employees of the Emperor's Mosque and other prominent people who lived in Sarajevo. The mosque was damaged during World War II but mostly in the 1990s, and renovation work is pending. The first settlements in Sarajevo were built around the mosque, with the Sultan's representatives living there, rather than next to the mosque. Isa Bey also built a hammam and a bridge that led directly to the mosque. The bridge was dismantled during the Austro-Hungarian regime and rebuilt just a few meters upstream where it still exists today. On the other side of the river, Karwansaray built. To fund these facilities, Isa Bey left a legacy of many shops, lands and properties. The city of Sarajevo is also famous for sightseeing. An observation deck at Avaz Twist Tower, Park Princeva Restaurant, Vidikovac Lookout, MT Trebevic, Zamajovac Lookout and Yellow-White Fortresses Lookout, as well as numerous centers throughout the city. Hotel Hiko Deluxe. A symbol of Sarajevo is the Trebevic cable car which was reconstructed in 2018. It is also one of the most popular tourist attractions in the city, taking visitors from the city center to Mount Trebevic. Also a UNESCO temporary monument, the Old Jewish Cemetery, a nearly 500-year-old site that is the second largest Jewish burial complex in Europe, is the largest in Prague. It is one of the most significant memorial complexes in the world. It presents eternal proof of the coexistence of two or more different confessions under different administrations and rules, and proof of mutual respect and tolerance. Classical Ottoman architecture is a period of Ottoman architecture generally including the 16th and 17th centuries. This period is most strongly associated with the work of Mimar Sinan, who was the chief court architect under three sultans between 1538 and 1588. The beginning of this period also coincides with the long reign of Suleiman the Magnificent, recognized as the apogee of the Ottomans. Political and cultural development with extensive patronage of art and architecture by the Sultan, his family and his. At night, after finishing the famous and tempting food of Bosnara, I quickly got up to the hotel and fell asleep. The next day I left for Mostar city. I went to Mostar to see the mountain lake and the beautiful sea. Mostar is situated on the Neretva River and is the fifth largest city in the country. Mostar was named after the bridge keepers, Mostari, who guarded the Sterymost, Old Bridge, over the Neretva during the Ottoman era. The Old Bridge, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, commissioned by Suleiman the Magnificent in the 16th century, is one of Bosnia and Herzegovina's most visited landmarks, and is considered an exemplary piece of Islamic architecture in the Balkans. Ancient and medieval history. Human settlements on the river Neretva, between Mount Hum and the Velez mountain, have existed since prehistory, as witnessed by discoveries of fortified onsants and cemeteries. Evidence of Roman occupation was discovered beneath the present town. As far as medieval Mostar goes, although the Christian basilicas of late antiquity remained in use, few historical sources were preserved and not much is known about this period. The name of Mostar was first mentioned in a document dating from 1474, taking its name from the bridge keepers, Mostari. This refers to the existence of a wooden bridge from the market on the left bank of the river which was used by traders, soldiers, and other travelers. During this time it was also the seat of a Cadillac district with a regional judge. Since Mostar was on the trade route between the Adriatic and the mineral-rich regions of central Bosnia, the settlement began to spread to the right bank of the river. Some of Mostar's notable sites include the Bishop's Ordinariate building, ruins of an early Christian basilica in Sim, a Hammam Ottoman public bath, clock tower, Sahat Kula, synagogue, 1889, and Jewish memorial cemetery, Nesa Aga Vujakovic Mosque, Hammam Kurt Mosque or Tabasica, Metropolitan's Palace, 1908, Karagoz Bay Mosque, 1557, Cathedral of the Holy Trinity, 1873, Catholic Church and Franciscan Monastery, Ottoman Residence, 16th-19th century, Krukad and Halebija Towers. Another important symbol of the city is the Second World War Partisan Memorial Cemetery in Mostar, designed by architect Bogdan Bogdanovic. Its sacred quality derives from the union of nature, water and greenery, with the designer's architectural expression. The monument was inscribed on the list of national monuments in 2006. Catholic pilgrimage sites in Medjugorje are also nearby, including the Tekaja Dervish Monastery in Blagaz, the 13th century town of Pochatelj, the Blagaz Castle St. Jepan Grad, the Kravica Waterfall, the seaside town of Neum, the Roman Villa Rustica from the early 4th century, Mogorjello, Stekuk Necropolis of Stolok and the ruins of an ancient Greek city of Dorsan. Nearby places include the nature park Hutovo Blato, the archaeological site Dasilo, Lake Barako as well as the Vjatrenica cave, the largest and most important cave in Bosnia and Herzegovina. Two city names appear in medieval historical sources before 1474 with their later medieval territories and features, the cities of Niboza and Simski Grad. It was in the center of this area, which in 1408 belonged to Radivojevic, who built Sim fort before 1443. Mostar is indirectly referred to as Ponce, the bridge, in a 1454 charter of King Alfonso V of Aragon, as a bridge had already been built there. Before 1444, the Niboza Tower was built on the left bank of the Neretva, which belonged to the medieval county still known as Vesenik or Vesarich. In 1468 the region came under the Ottoman Empire, and urbanization of the settlement began. It was named Kapruhiza, meaning castle on the bridge, with a cluster of 15 houses at its center. The city was organized into two distinct areas, the Karsaja, the craft and commercial center of the settlement, and the Mahala, or a residential area. The city was fortified between 1520 and 1566 and the wooden bridge was rebuilt in stone. In 1519, 925 r. The settlement was recorded as a fort and as Mostar and Kapruhisa, and was inhabited by Muslims and Christians. It had 4 Muslim families and 85 Christian families. The stone bridge, the Old Bridge, Most Star, was built in 1566 by order of Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent and quickly became a marvel at 28 meters, 92 ft, long and 20 meters, 66 ft, high. A symbol of the city after its own time. The Old Bridge was designed by Mimar Hayreddin, who was a student and apprentice of the Ottoman architect Mimar Sinan. In the late 16th century, Kapruhisa was a town in Sanjak, Herzegovina. The traveler Evliya Čelebi wrote in the 17th century that, the bridge is like a rainbow arch soaring in the sky, spanning from one mountain to another steep. I, a poor and miserable servant of Allah, have crossed 16 countries, but I have never seen such a high bridge. It is thrown from rock to rock as high as the sky. The first church in the city of Mostar, the Serbian Orthodox Church, was built in 1834 during Ottoman rule. After Bosnia and Herzegovina declared independence from Yugoslavia in April 1992, the city was besieged by the Yugoslav People's Army JNA, following clashes between the JNA and Croat forces. The Croats are the Croatian Defense Council. HVO was organized and a large number of Bosniaks joined. JNA artillery periodically shelled neighborhoods beyond their control since early April. On the 7th of June the Croatian Army HV launched an offensive. Since the end of the Great War in 1995, great progress has been made in the reconstruction of the city of Mostar. By spring 2004, funding for this reconstruction came from Spain, the United States, Turkey, Italy, the Netherlands, and Croatia. A grand opening was held on the 23rd of July 2004 amid tight security. In July 2005, UNESCO added the old bridge and its immediate vicinity. Jajce is a small city in Bosnia and Herzegovina, central not only geographically but also culturally. Throughout Bosnia's long history, Jajce has been the home of medieval kings, Ottoman governors, and a range of different ethnic groups, as well as being one of President Tito's earliest communist strongholds. The Pliva Waterfalls is located by the town of Jajce, in central Bosnia and Herzegovina, where the river Pliva meets the river Vrbas. The waterfall is a large tufa, also known as travertine barrier, making over 22 meters cascade on the Pliva River, in a narrow karstic zone, which follows the Pliva course, retracted into a flysch and limestone contact zone. It was 30 meters high, but after an earthquake during the Bosnian War and attacks on the power plant further up the river, the area was flooded and now the waterfall is 22 meters high. Zajec was a popular tourist destination during the Yugoslav period. The town is famous for its beautiful 22-meter, 72 ft, high waterfall where the Pliva River meets the Vrbas River. It was damaged by high water and severe flooding during the Bosnian War, as the area of the Jajce 1 hydroelectric power station was in the war zone and out of service. The sudden rise in water level and discharge creates a tidal wave that damages the travertine body of the falls. Located on Jajce Hill, the city is surrounded by beautiful countryside, rivers such as the Vrbas and Pliva, and lakes such as Lake Pliva, which is a popular destination for locals and tourists alike. Not far from Zajec there are mountains over 2,000 meters high like Vlasic near the town of Travnik. Traveling through hilly roads to the city may not be pleasant for some visitors, as the roads are in poor condition. Skanderbeg Mihajlović besieged Jajce again in 1501, which, although the siege failed, marked the fall of the city and Hungarian rule in Bosnia. In 1527, Ottoman rule fell in Jajce. Under the Ottomans, the city lost its strategic importance, as the frontier moved further north. Various churches and mosques have been built at different times under different rules, making Jajce a rather diverse city in this respect. Austria-Hungary period editing in 1878 Jajce's past, along with the rest of Bosnia and Herzegovina, under the administration of Austria-Hungary. The Franciscan monastery of St. Luke was completed in 1885. Ethnic Serbs fled or were expelled from the territory under the control of Republika Srpska. In the summer of 1992, the Army of the Republika Srpska, VRS, began a heavy bombardment of the city. Zajec was defended by two separate command lines, Croat and Bosniak forces, falling to Serb forces on the 29th of October. The retreating force, joined by a column of 30,000 to 40,000 civilian refugees, advanced 16 kilometers, 10 towards Travnik under VRS sniping and shelling. Schrader defined it as the largest and worst single evacuation of the Bosnian War. Bosniak refugees resettled in central Bosnia, while Croats moved into Croatia or closer to the Croatian border due to rising tensions. By November 1992 Jajce's pre-war population had shrunk from 45,000 to just a few thousand. In the following weeks, all mosques and Catholic churches in Jajce were demolished. The Orthodox Church is believed to have been destroyed on the 10th to the 11th of October by members of the so-called Krajina Brigade within the Army of Bir. The VRS converted the city's Franciscan monastery into a prison and looted its archives, museum collections, and artifacts. The monastery church was completely destroyed. By 1992, all religious buildings in Jajce had been destroyed, except for two mosques whose dangerous hilltop location made them unsuitable for demolition. Jajce was freed along with Bosanski Petrovac in mid-September 1995 during Operation Mistral II by the Croatian Defense Council, after VRS forces evacuated the Serb population. Jajce became part of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina as per the Dayton Agreement. In early August 1996 the returning Bosniaks were besieged by a mob of Croats, which according to U.S. diplomat Robert Jelbert was personally led by convicted Bosnian Croat war criminal Dario Kordic. Bosniak refugees could return in peace just weeks later, with many more following surrendered and was taken to The Hague after political pressure on Zagreb, particularly from the United States. A significant number of Serb refugees settled in Braco, while the rest settled in Mrkonjic Grad, Sipovo and Banja Lu. Jajce is the fortress above the walled city Jajce, the greatest power at the time, founded the city. Jajce was first built in the 14th century and served as the capital of the independent Kingdom of Bosnia during its time. The first mention of Jajce's name in written sources dates back to 1396, but the castle existed even before that. The city has castle-like gates, as well as a castle with walls that led to various gates around the city. About 10-20 km from Jajce lies the Komitin Castle and town area, which is older but smaller than Jajce. It is believed that the city of Jajce was founded after Komitin was attacked by the Black Death. Serbs, Bosnians, Littorals, Hams, Dalmatians, Croats, etc. The king was killed in this city after the Ottoman conquest. The Ottomans besieged the city and executed Tomasevic, but only held out for 6 months. Katakomb. The first mention of Jajce in written sources dates back to 1396, when he was referred to as the Count of Jajce, and under whom the city experienced considerable political and cultural development in the 14th and 15th centuries. The underground structure, now a historical monument, was built around 1400, but not before 1416 when the Grand Duke of Bosnia, Hrvoje Vukić, who founded the city of Jajce and ordered its construction, died and lay in his tomb. It is an underground structure, conceived as a church, with a narthex, a baptistery with a baptismal font, a nave and a presbytery with an altar space. The structure is south-north facing, with entrance from the south end. The underground complex was carved into a living stone. This two-tiered crypt is small and roughly hewn but notable for its artistic half-lights and boldly sculpted cross, sun and crescent motifs below, a rare surviving monument of independence. Bosnian Church. Tito is said to have hid here in 1943, and signed documents from the Second AVNOJ meeting. Jajce Mithraeum is a temple dedicated to the sun god Mithras. The deity was worshipped and the religion spread to other parts of the Roman Empire across the Mediterranean basin by slaves and merchants from the east and by Roman soldiers who had previously come into contact with followers of the religion. The temple was repaired sometime between 2nd century AD and 4th century AD. This particular Mithraeum is renowned as one of the best preserved in Europe. It was discovered by accident during the construction of a private house. The temple is protected by glass walls so that visitors can see inside without entering the facility. Jajce Mithraeum has been declared a national monument of Bosnia. Top tourist attractions in Jajce city. The Pliva waterfall. Panoramic view of eastern Marcela Tita area from Jajce fortress. Jajce fortress and ancient area. Meadowgate and Omer Bey's native house and the view of Sej Mustafa area. Krasarama is a municipality in the Herzegovina-Neretva canton of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, an entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina. Its seat is Strong. Also, Ramsko Lake is located in the municipality. In the long 7-hour bus ride, my wife, daughter Karima Sheikh are all very tired, but sometimes the bus ride is a bit dangerous on the hill and sometimes on the Dalu road. But seeing the beautiful surroundings and the beautiful view of the mountains and the lake is all over. Donji Vakuf is a town and municipality in the central Bosnia canton of the Federation of Bosnia and Herzegovina, an entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina. It was founded by Malkoglu Ibrahim Bey in 1572 and was known as Asaji Vakuf, Lower Wakf, meaning Islamic endowment in Turkish. From 1929 to 1941, Donji Vakuf was part of the Kingdom of Yugoslavia, Vrbust Banovina. From April 1993 to the 14th of September 1995, the city was named Sribobran. Srpčina and Hergovčina and Herpijacčina. Banja Luka is the traditional center of the densely forested Bosanska Krajina region of northwestern Bosnia. As of the 2013 census, the city proper has a population of 138,963, while its administrative area comprises a total of 185,042 inhabitants. Banja Luka has scenic views. Ferhat Pasha Mosque, Cathedral of Christ the Savior, Mariasta Abbey, Castle. The city is home to the University of Banja Luka and the Republika Srpska University Clinical Center, as well as numerous entities and state institutions for the Republika Srpska and Bosnia and Herzegovina, respectively. The city is located on the banks of the Vrbas River and is well known for being full of tree-lined streets, boulevards, gardens and parks in the countries of the former Yugoslavia. Banja Luka was named European City of Sport in 2018. Ferhat Pasha Mosque, Bosnian, also known as Ferhadija Mosque. This is a mosque in Banja Luka and one of the greatest achievements of 16th century Ottoman Islamic architecture in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The mosque was demolished by order of the authorities of Republika Srpska as part of an ethnic cleansing campaign in 1993, rebuilt and reopened in 2016. Ferhat Pasha Mosque, Bosnian, also known as Ferhadija Mosque. This is a mosque in Banja Luka and one of the greatest achievements of 16th century Ottoman Islamic architecture in Bosnia and Herzegovina. The mosque was demolished by order of the authorities of Republika Srpska as part of an ethnic cleansing campaign in 1993, rebuilt and reopened in 2016. A Holy Trinity Church was built during the interwar period of Yugoslavia in the center of Banja Luka. The construction of the church took from 1925 to 1929 and was consecrated in 1939 on Salvation Day. During the German bombing on the 12th of April, 1941, the church was damaged and the altar part, apse, was significantly damaged. In May of the same year, the Ustašara declared the church a city mound and ordered Serbs, Jews and Roma to demolish it completely, brick by brick. Castle is a fortress located in Banja Luka, Bosnia and Herzegovina. The castle is medieval but on the site of an earlier castle it dates back to Roman and even pre-Roman times. It was captured by the Ottoman Empire in 1527. The castle is relatively well preserved and is one of Banja Luka's main attractions, located on the left bank of the Vrbas River. The area of the castle precinct is 26,610 square meters, 286,400 square ft. Inside the castle walls and 21,390 square meters, 230,200 square ft. Outside the walls. The walls are barely above the ground. The castle is an artillery fort situated on a plain and has a polygonal base in the shape of an extended trapezoid. There are 7 small cannon forts inside the fort. Their walls are about 2.5 meters wide. On the inner side of the wall, 3 armories are connected, and the width of the wall is 6.5 meters. The fort was built of rectangular hewn stones, placed on top of each other in various ways and bound with mortar. There are 3 towers in the oblong tower alongside the wall. A sconce was a part of the defense system of the fort. It was about 20-30 meters wide and surrounded the castle from all sides, along with the ramparts. It almost seemed as if the castle was on an island. Today, skunks are buried. Along the walls, there were secret underground passages. The main casemate of the fort was 80 meters long and 15 meters wide. On the sandy beach of Vrbas, 2 hidden and masked wells were dug. River water flowed through them, filtered through layers of sand. Masked steps led to the big well and doors in the wall will be used to get to the small well. Historic area. Castel Fort has been declared a national monument of Gradiška, formerly Bosanska Gradiška, is a town and municipality in the northwestern part of Republika Srpska, entity of Bosnia and Herzegovina. As of 2013, it has a population of 51,727 inhabitants, while the town of Gradiška has a population of 14,368 inhabitants. By population, Gradiška municipality is proportional to the settlement with the highest and lowest population. It is geographically located in the eastern Krajina region, and the city is located After a 1-week trip to Bosnia and Herzegovina, we left for Croatia. On the way, we saw a beautiful small town in Bosnia, which made our trip lively. There is a custom office or border check post here. The customs officer checked our passports and allowed us to go to Croatia. Croatia starts as soon as Sabandi passes in front. Karima fell asleep while sitting in the car. Goodbye Bosnia and Herzegovina.